Hey, how's it going today? It's Frankie and I'm here with Funny Fridays. And this movie is called Incoming. And I've got to say, when I read about this movie and I seen snippets of it, well, I saw a snippet of it on Netflix, I was like, it's exactly like American Pie. I mean, a lot of these high school type comedies, movies, whatever you want to call it, a lot of them are like American Pie. And I think American Pie it kind of felt like they started all this off because the characters are more better than in that movie. They're more, they're more funny, they got better chemistry with each other. Whereas in this one, I like this one. I like this movie. The characters are perfect. The acting is just brilliant for a movie like this. It just lacked that cutting edge comedy wise. There was only 2 or 3 good scenes. I probably won't talk about. I won't talk about the whole movie like I do with all my other movie reviews. I'm only going to mention the only important bits in this movie. And there's a few scenes that made me laugh, like the start of it when Benji was talking in the mirror, acting like it was a woman he was talking to, and the camera pans and his sister Alyssa opens the door roughly, and he's like, oh my god, what? Kind of made me laugh. So I was like, that's a good start for a movie. And I recognise that Benji dude, that I think his name is, I've forgotten the guy's name now. I just seen on the site. He's appeared in a lot of comedies before. I've seen that face and I recognise it. I'm pretty sure it's who I'm thinking of. But yeah, he's funny in that show. Alyssa probably not as much, but perfect in that show. I think all the characters, the mum is as well, but you don't see much of their mum. So you don't see much of Eddie and Connor's mum, who's the other freshman, because it's basically about 4 freshmen. So that's Benji, Eddie, Connor, and Dana. The dude called Dana. I know, it's weird. I think there's a guy called Ruby. To have a big clear of the fault there, because when I heard that name, I was like, surely it must mean Ruben, but he's called Ruby. And this character actually fits perfectly in the movie when he picks Benji up and to go to school basically. And yeah, he's sort of like, he also has one with like people he was like trying to sell drugs to, and he got Benji involved in it as well. But I also recognise the Ruby character too. He was perfect at the start of it. I was just like, okay, he can come across as funny, but you don't see him often. He's actually one of those kind of characters where if he appeared in it more, I think it'll be a bit more funnier. You also have like the teacher that called Mr. Studebaker. Never heard that surname before. These American surnames, man. You feel like you're in the Netherlands with some of their surnames. That is mad. Some of them are hard to pronounce, but I actually like him I like him. He sounds like a cool teacher. Which was a teacher in my high school, primary school. Man, but he's like a bit of a joker. He's kind of cool. Especially he interacts with his students. Bear in mind, the American students, if I know correctly, I don't think they even wear school uniform. We have to. That's hassle. I don't think they wear school uniform. And they get a school bus. I mean, man, we have to take the regular bus. These are unlucky. Unless they're different high school and some of these American movies just make something up. But yeah, they're lucky. Apart from like the lockers and the other bits, but it's a shame because wow. I keep forgetting that they don't wear school uniform. That's mad. And you have these like, and then it's basically about these 4 characters like struggling with adolescence, and they attend their first high school party with Dana and his brother that prepared it. More of his brother, more like, and they kind of like Benji likes this chick as well called, I think what's her name, like Bailey, who is like his sister's friend. And I want to mention this because this is what I find weird. It's meant to be a raunchy teen comedy, right? But they had a scene where Benji was just talking to his friends about, look, there was this incident that happened. This scene kind of nearly made me laugh, where he didn't expect to see Bailey sitting downstairs in the dark in the kitchen, and he was drinking some milk and he spilt the milk and he nearly slipped. That kind of nearly made me laugh. And as he was talking to Bailey, I'm going to say this quick, sorry. He kind of showed that there was a little bit of boob showing, with the nipple part as well showing, and For me, I know that I think they were adults, but playing, acting like they're in high school. I get it, it's a movie, right? You can get like a young person act like an adult, or a character that is a mom, but her kids at a similar age to her, kind of thing. It's normal, it happens. But just the thought of it, I'm not going to compliment that and say I didn't get excited or anything like that. Like, it's just a weird concept to think about. I mean, it's just so strange. If they weren't school characters or just like normal adult characters, it's a different story. But again, it could be like a young teen playing like an adult. So it's still, so we all got to be careful how we compliment certain, characters in these movies. In general, because I know there's a lot of people that do. We're not dumb. I mean, I'm sure it's most common with us dudes to, see a nice good looking woman on TV and go, oh wow, she looks fit. So it's common. Same with women that do it with, male characters. So that's a bit weird right there, where I didn't want to say anything at first. And I thought there's going to be nudity because it's kind of like a raunchy teen comedy. Just like American Pie had it, but then I think the characters felt more like adults, even though they were in school time. It's confusing these years, man. This is why it's hard to tell who's in what year. I mean, then again, in my school we wear uniforms, so it's even hard to. But it's even about the height too. But even that, you get a tall person. But yeah, don't go too off topic. I just had to mention that. And yeah, such as there was obviously like the party scenes, and you see like Dana have like CCTV cameras. He's kind of creepy. He tries to get a girl downstairs to his basement where there's like a hot tub, and he gives her a massage, and but then he's locked in as well. But he actually pretended he was locked in just so they can, you know the drill on that one. And I've forgotten her name, by the way. I've forgotten her name. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean. But it's hard to describe a movie like this because there's only the odd few funny scenes, which is disappointing. And also the scenes where you see Benji taking a bit like cocaine and Bailey's not happy with it. You see other scenes where he's sort of introduced himself to like this dude that he has shades, and I've forgotten his name basically. And he just acts a bit awkward, and he doesn't really know that many people. You see the teacher coming as well. He's just teaching them about how to mix him out the right alcohol. I don't know how you describe it basically. He goes just taking shots. He's a cool teacher, but I wish he had more humour. He would have killed it, man, if he was a bit more funnier. And then you see a scene where those like dudes come in that Ruby sold some fake or whatever drugs to, or whatever he sold something to, and he has some sort of taser on him, and he starts as he got punched to the ground, after a fight occurred between, because he tasered like one of the dudes, and then after, I think Dana's brother comes and punches one of the dealers up or something like that, and a fight broke loose. It kind of got a bit chaotic. It wasn't like American Pie where a lot of other things get chaotic, right? It's a bit more hectic than that. I think because that's a different kind of movie. They're talking about different things happen, but this is more like these, freshmen go to like their first party or something. But this is a scene that I kind of thought, this is the best scene of the movie, is when Eddie and Connor like pick Katrina up, who's maybe like the hottest popular girl. You know how it is in these type of movies, typical. But yeah, picks her up in the car when she's heavily drunk, and they take it. Like, bear in mind, it was Connor's idea to steal Eddie's like mum's boyfriend's car. And Eddie's mum is not bad looking, to be fair. I mean, don't say, I don't know how old she's in the movie, but she looks old enough, so thank God. But yeah, look. So steal the car. You only see Eddie's mum like once in the movie. These type of movies, you see every character at least more than 3-4 times, surely. So that's what surprised me about it. It just feels put this other character in. I'm just an introduction film, but it's a bit weird to add someone in and then just don't add them in again. That makes no sense to me. So it was Connor's idea to steal the car anyway, and they picked her up and they took her to Tango Bar and stuff like that. And it's the funniest moment where they both wonder what was smelling so bad, and she definitely shit herself all over the back seat, and they're like, oh my god, it's on my hand, oh my god. That was a chaotic scene. That's probably my favourite scene in the movie. Obviously, it was gone and it wasn't, to be honest. But yeah, look, that was a mad scene. That kind of made me laugh. Where was that in the whole? Where was some crazy scenes like that happening? But then they actually cleaned them up. They put her some new clothes, and she actually kind of liked them because they looked after her. So she definitely had to owe them one, to be fair. And then you see how Benji and what's her name, Bailey, kiss, and she's actually teasing her, being hard to get. And for me, I don't agree with women sort of do that, just tease the dude and to see the dude hanging like that. If you want to do it, just do it. Like, you women, if we paid hard to get, you'd be calling us annoying. Let's admit that. It's not every woman. It's women that actually have the common sense enough to be like, you know what, I'm actually going to do this. I actually make up a mind sort of thing. I like women like that, to be honest. But yeah, no, what else? Yeah, I think there's somebody. I mean, the end part was a bit sad, you could say, where Benji just started singing. Let me have a sip of my tea. Always got to drink my tea here. Yeah. Obviously, it's good job I don't slurp my tea. Good job I don't slurp. Imagine I just slurp my tea. Jesus, that'd be inappropriate and disrespectful. I could have paused and started drinking my tea, but it wouldn't have made much sense anyway. So yeah, look, I mean, and then Benji started singing towards the end of the movie, and he said this is for my, the one person I care about, and that's Bailey. Now, even if this person did like you back, I wouldn't want to call out the name because it'd be very awkward and humiliating, which it was for Benji after he, stopped singing. He was like, oh, Bailey, you want to be my girlfriend? The song he was singing though could have been a bit more different. They could have made up some lyrics in the movie and turned it into a song, and she just looked like she wasn't impressed, and she just said no. You don't do that. Like, just say yes and go along with it. I'd rather get humiliated one-on-one, or I mean, no one likes to get humiliated in general, but even if it's like 1, 2 or 3 people, that's embarrassing enough. At least it's less people. But having the entire school, that's a laughing stock. But then again, she turned round and she started winking at him. You humiliated him on purpose for the drama? That's a breakup instantly. Even though you two went together to begin with, that's a breakup. Nah. Why he's getting happy, I'll never know. He could have just said, you know what, I don't need her. Like, the way she just humiliated him was not good. You women set things up in a weird way, man. I don't know why. She could have said yes. I thought that was not a good ending to the movie. I was disappointed. Like, she could have just said yes, man. That's why you don't mention certain people's names. She could just sang and that's it. But to bring a name into that, hell no. He's gonna be a meme now. Eternity. Yeah, there was another nice moment where Dana started to comfort Alyssa, and yeah, to be fair, because Alyssa's like, I think Alyssa had an ex-girlfriend. She was like, the ex-girlfriend said the reason I broke up is because you're mean and stuff like that. But then Dana tried to like compliment her. She was like, oh, who talks like that? What? It's a compliment. There's women that can't take compliments nowadays, man. You just can't compliment them. I just don't get it. When you don't compliment them, they get upset or something. This is what I mean. Sometimes movies portray stuff like this. It's actually true. And I mean, it's sad that, but he was only nice, I guess. A lot of his time. But yeah, the scene where the mum's just having to go at, what's the Alyssa and Benji. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that scene, but yeah, she wasn't really remotely funny in that one. She tried to be. I just don't like characters that try to be funny when they're not. They're just overdoing it and forcing it. I'm not into that. But yeah, I'm not going to mention all the movie. You can watch it for yourself and see what you think. It's pretty much, I like it. It's my type of movie. But then, it's just that it lacked humour. It lacked a lot of funny moments, and maybe it's because I'm watching it overthinking it, but literally there was nothing funny. I've seen people watch a comedy and they laugh when somebody says something normal and it's not meant to be funny. You have to overthink a bit of these like movies, because if it's funny, you got to make sure it's really funny. You got to make sure it's at least a 7 or an 8 to be enjoyable. For me, this is one of those movies where it's a rarity, right? I think the characters are right. I think the acting was good. I think over what the movie was about is pretty standard for a raunchy comedy like this. After he's already raunchy into it, most of these comedy films are. But it just lacked humour. That's a shame. It would have been decent if it lacked humour, and I don't think it's decent for me. I feel like the humour for me, it lacked because there wasn't enough for me to actually, laugh at. I like it because it's my sort of comedy, but at the same time I think it was average at best in terms of like the comedy and the humour. I shouldn't like it, but it's the type of comedy, to be fair. A few odd funny scenes which I'll give them, which made me laugh, but again there wasn't much in it, to be fair. It's just everything else was right apart from like the comedy, and I wouldn't rate this highly. It's pretty much average for me, but I wouldn't, like whoever made this movie, I'm not going to downplay it. It should have had more to it. But I don't know, when you're making a movie, I just don't think you think about what's in it. Like, I would love to make a movie. I'm not judging. I don't think I can make a movie anywhere near as good as some movies I've seen. But at least I know what it would take to try and make a comedy. At least I have a rough idea. But you also got to make sure the audience laughs too. And you got to make sure some of these comedies aren't for everybody. Not every comedy is for everybody, but at least you got to make it so that at least some people like it out there. But yeah, rating. I want to give it a 7, but my mind's telling me give it a 6. And I'm going to give it a 6. I don't think I'll keep it in my list, but I actually don't mind it. I kind of like it in terms of like the style, but again, it needed more humour. It lacked that cutting edge humour to it, and more scenes which needed to be funny. I say it's about every other type of comedy. More humour. It needs to have humour throughout. I'm talking about like comedies like was it Austin Powers is one of them. What else? I'm gonna say comedy shows to your IT crowd. Sort of like Peep Show as well. Sort of comedy where it's gonna be funny in a lot of scenes throughout. That's what I'm talking about. That same with Dirty Movie, Scary Movie. Scary Movie is funny throughout. Those are the type of movies and shows I am looking for. None of this like, oh, we'll have 3 scenes where it's funny. If it's comedy, it's got to be comedy. I keep saying it. Everything has to be funny throughout. At least 90% of it has to be comedy. It should be 100 to be fair, but that's generous. If it's not 90% and it's 20% comedy, you haven't made a proper comedy film. You made more like a comedy mixed with more drama. That's disappointing for me. But don't get disheartened. Whoever made this, don't get disheartened. All it needed was a bit more. So this movie is unlucky in terms of comedy. But yeah, this video is longer than it should have been. And after what I said earlier about that scene between like Benji and Bailey in the kitchen, damn, it's got all sorts of things running around my head now, and I had to mention it. Pretty respectful for me to talk about that, because not everybody would see it that way. Not everybody would call that out and find it weird. It is weird for me. Even there are adults, I'm pretty sure they are playing this movie like this, pretend to be high school kids. It's still a weird thing that you would have a scene like that in it, though. At least in American Pie, the characters are like full on adults. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're not college characters now. But yeah, this has got me overthinking now what I'm trying to say. See, got me questioning everything now. But yeah, that's it for this video. 6 out of 10 it is. If you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed this video, please give a like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification below. So I shall see you in my next video.